In 1972, 3 men flew around the moon for the last time. Since then, no human has left low Earth orbit. That is about to change. NASA's Artemis II mission will send 4 astronauts on a 10-day loop around the moon, the farthest any human has traveled in over half a century. And this time, one of them will be a woman. The last time humans traveled beyond low Earth orbit, Richard Nixon was president. The internet did not exist, and mobile phones were science fiction. Apollo 17 splashed down in December 1972, and since then, every human who has gone to space has stayed within a few hundred miles of Earth's surface. Artemis II is about to change that. 4 astronauts, including the first woman and the first person of color to fly to the moon, will travel 250,000 miles from home on a 10-day mission around the lunar far side. This is the story of what they will do, why it matters, and what comes after. Between 1968 and 1972, 24 human beings traveled to the moon. 12 of them walked on its surface. They brought back 842 pounds of lunar rock, took thousands of photographs, and proved that human beings could survive the journey. Then it stopped. The Apollo program was canceled, and for over 5 decades, humanity has not returned. The International Space Station orbits just 250 miles above Earth. The moon is 1,000 times farther. The skills, the hardware, and the institutional knowledge of deep space human flight have had to be rebuilt almost from scratch. Artemis is that rebuilding. Artemis II will carry 4 astronauts: Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialist Christina Koch, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen. Glover will become the first person of color to fly beyond low Earth orbit. Koch will become the first woman. Hansen will be the first non-American to travel to the moon. The crew has trained for years in the Orion capsule simulator, practicing emergency procedures, navigation burns, and the complex communication protocols required when you are so far from Earth that a radio signal takes over a second to arrive. These 4 will see the far side of the moon with their own eyes, something only 24 humans have ever done. The Space Launch System is the most powerful rocket NASA has ever built. Standing 322 feet tall, it produces 8.8 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, 15% more than the Saturn V that carried Apollo astronauts to the moon. Its core stage is powered by 4 RS-25 engines, the same engines that flew on the space shuttle, refurbished and upgraded. 2 solid rocket boosters, each 177 feet long, provide the majority of thrust for the first 2 minutes of flight. Artemis I, an uncrewed test flight in 2022, proved the system works. It sent an empty Orion capsule around the moon and back. Now it is time to put people on board. After launch from Kennedy Space Center, the SLS upper stage will propel Orion on a translunar injection burn, sending it toward the moon at roughly 24,500 miles per hour. The journey takes about 4 days. Once there, the crew will not enter lunar orbit. Instead, they will perform a free return trajectory, swinging behind the moon and using its gravity to slingshot back toward Earth. At their farthest point, they will be over 230,000 miles from home. The entire mission lasts approximately 10 days. During the return, Orion will re-enter Earth's atmosphere at nearly 25,000 miles per hour and splash down in the Pacific Ocean under parachutes. A common question is why Artemis II does not simply land on the moon. The answer is complexity. A lunar landing requires a separate lander vehicle, which is being developed by SpaceX as a variant of its Starship rocket. That lander must be launched separately, refueled in orbit, and docked with Orion, a choreography of maneuvers that has never been attempted. Artemis II's job is to prove that the Orion capsule and its life support systems work correctly with humans aboard on a deep space mission. It validates navigation, communication, radiation exposure, and crew health. If anything goes wrong, a free return trajectory guarantees the crew can get home using the moon's own gravity. If Artemis II succeeds, Artemis III will attempt the first crewed lunar landing since 1972, targeting the moon's south pole where permanently shadowed craters are believed to contain water ice. Beyond that, NASA plans to build the Gateway, a small space station in lunar orbit that will serve as a staging point for surface missions and, eventually, for voyages to Mars. Artemis is not just a return to the moon. It is the beginning of a permanent human presence beyond Earth. The 4 astronauts aboard Artemis II will be the first to take that step, the first humans in over half a century to see the Earth as a small blue marble hanging in the blackness of deep space.